What's up with the Gat Ballistic?
All right. Fuck it. We'll do this live. Welcome to Hit or Miss. I'm Night Strike. Tonight I'm going to be talking about a couple different things, but I wanted to introduce my panelists before I get to that. So uh, I'd like to thank Ballistic Expansion, otherwise known here in Gun Channels as Caleb. Thank you for joining us.
Yep, thanks for having me, guys.
I
Glad to be
want to.
here.
I'd also like to thank Nathan's Armory of Sheepdog Leather Holsters. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. I'm just putting on rubber gloves because if the BS gets too thick in here, I want to be ready. But really, I'm just going to tie a belt while we talk.
Oh, here I thought you were going to use that rubber cement again.
No, I just get that on my hands and have to peel it off. It's annoying and a pain. The dye is much worse. If you get the dye on your hands, it's really bad.
It's over. All right, and as always, we have everyone's favorite Hawaii Volcano Squad.
Yeah, man.
All right, well, thank you for attending. What was it? What was it? Tequila Tuesdays. That's what it is.
I'm having just a beer right now to start.
All right. All right. Well, tonight we're going to talk about a couple things. I think what we're going to do is Caleb's going to tell us a little bit about competition. I'd also like to talk to Nathan about how he does some of his holsters. When he gets a chance from dying. And then we'll just wing it from there. So, Caleb, what's going on with competition? How did you start getting into competition?
Well, actually, it was through some acquaintances of my dad's. Started shooting like outlaw matches. They weren't really sanctioned matches, and then I met a guy there. Pretty much turned into my mentor and friend, and it just kind of exploded. Like for my first like outlaw tactical match I shot with my Taurus 1911, it took 6 months for me to save up and buy a Glock and have everything I needed to start shooting. That's how into it was. I was really passionate about it, so I really got, I was like, I really want to do this, and I did, and I haven't got tired of it yet. But talking about what's new, nothing right now. I mean, now it's kind of off season because it's the middle of winter, and there's still some local matches around and stuff. But I'm just kind of taking it easy, and that way I don't get burnt out or anything. And there's some new news though for the political side. We just got a new president for USPSA, which is the sport division that I shoot. United States Practical Shooting Association, and his name's Mike Foley. So I got to meet him before. Actually, I got to meet him at the Kentucky State match, and he's a pretty nice guy, pretty cool. So hopefully he'll make some changes that are going to be for the betterment of the organization. And we also just got a new area director. So there's like 7 areas I think that are broken up in, of the U.S. So we're Area 6 here in Georgia, and we just got a new Area 6 director. So hopefully that'll bring good things. So I really don't know much about him actually, but we'll see what happens. And that's pretty much what's going on in the competition world on my side, anyways.
Okay.
From my side.
Well, here's a question. What is your specialty, or what do you normally shoot? Do you do 2-gun, 3-gun? What kind of shooting do you do when you do competition?
Well, USPSA, they actually have 2 different facets. Actually 3 now because they bought Steel Challenge, so I'll get to that in a second. But the mainstay of USPSA is pistol. That's why United States Practical Shooting Association. It's just pistols for the most part, but they do have a multi-gun division. But the multi-gun is formatted to be very successful. They just don't get out and they don't advertise it like they should, and they really missed the ball in the nation, which almost everyone has heard of, even people who don't shoot competition ever. They're pretty popular. They're pretty huge right now in the U.S., and USPSA really missed out on the chance to capitalize on that market and pull members in that way. So they do have a multi-gun. It's same scoring system as far as I know, very similar scoring system to how we do pistol. So we do the pistol, multi-gun, and then they have what they call Steel Challenge, which is the same. I think there's 12, maybe 8 or 12 stages. They're the same nationwide, so they never change, and so it's all time, and you gotta shoot the plates. You don't have to shoot the plates in a certain order, but you gotta shoot one of them last. What they call the stop plate, so it has to be the last plate you engage, and you just stand still and shoot it. So it's pure speed. I've actually never shot it. I want to get into it, but We'll see whenever I get some more time on my hands. Maybe I will just take some time off from regular pistol matches. But right now, I'm just doing the standard USPSA pistol matches.
Awesome. Tell me about some of the guns you've used in pistol matches. You mentioned you started out with the Taurus 1911, which isn't necessarily a bad gun. It wouldn't be my first choice, but it wouldn't be my last either.
Yeah, definitely. That main reason I started out with that was because that was the only thing I had at the time. So I mean, I've had that. That was my first centerfire pistol. Actually, I still have it. I'll probably eventually trade it off for and put cash towards a better 1911.
What do you want for it?
What's that? How much I want for it?
Yeah, what do you want for it?
Oh, I haven't even thought about it. They don't really sell for that much. I mean, they're like 500 new, so mine's definitely not new. I mean, it works, so that's what I'm saying. It's not a bad gun. Like for what it is, it's you take a chance buying from Taurus sometimes.
We'll talk about that later. But tell me what kind of guns you used and what from
Progression
there. Yeah, progression.
Yeah, so I started out with the Taurus. Actually, you know what? Let me be honest. My very first little tactical match I shot, they were allowing 22s because it was like an outlaw match or whatever. So like kids and stuff. So I shot my Ruger 2245, and there's still a video of me out there somewhere, and it is so fun. It's fun for me to watch, definitely, to see that. And so I shot my first match with that, and the next one I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely going to use a regular iron sight pistol because I was using a red dot on that. So next match, got the Taurus 1911, shot it, and then I was like, man, this is fun. I want to do USPSA. I did shoot one IDPA match. So I did shoot one sanctioned match with my Taurus 1911, and came in like almost dead last. I beat like 2 people, I think. It was pretty embarrassing, but I had a blast. I'm like, man, this is awesome. And the guy that I told you about earlier, who pretty much became my mentor, the guy I shoot with a lot, he told me about USPSA. He's like, dude, it's way better than that even. I was like, okay. So I saved up, and I already had some money saved up at that point, and waited on a month or two, and in like June, I believe it was, bought my Glock 34. And then I shot that for up just until now, actually. And I actually ended up switching from the 34 to the 35. I bought a slide and a barrel for it, so I kept the same frame. And I shot that for a good while. Really liked it. Really reliable platform, and it's just easy to work on and everything. So I was doing that, and now I just recently acquired a STI 2011, and I've only shot about 3 matches with it or so. But I'm probably going to try to save up. I'm actually the one I'm using is a friend of mine, so I'm hoping to buy one soon.
Screenshot?
What's that?
Screenshot of this STI?
Yeah, actually, let me grab it real quick. Hang on a second. Let me put my mic down.
All right. That's cool.
All right, let me turn the lamp on here. Hopefully I won't go too crazy on camera. So this is the STI 2011. So it pretty much looks just like a 1911. The only difference is the whole grip right here, this whole black part and the trigger guard is all one unit. So that literally comes off the gun, and the frame is the silver piece. So it's like 3 main parts: side and barrel, frame, and the grip. So a new grip costs like $200. It holds the trigger housing, the mainspring, and everything.
So what you're saying is the grip is its own piece entirely?
Yes. Yep. So if you want to change the style of your grip, whatever, the texture, you either resurface the one you have and redo it, or you buy another one.
So it's different from a 1911 where it has the magazine well and everything. So it doesn't have the mag well. It's part of the grip.
No, the mag well is removable.
Okay. Because I've never used one, so that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, the mag well comes off. I've never taken it off, but you can. You just use there's a pin right there. It just drives out. But yeah, it's really nice. Like it a lot. Another big difference with most of the STIs is that they're bull barrel, so there's no bushing. So it gives you a little bit more weight and everything, but a little bit better lockup. Probably not a whole lot different, but mainly the weight's the main benefit. They do make bushing guns. STI does make bushing guns. So yeah, this is the one I'm borrowing right now. I really like it. It's nice. I just haven't gotten as comfortable with it as my Glock, but I'm definitely a lot easier to shoot it. And it just takes a double stack magazine. That's the main difference, is double stack capacity. So I can fit
it's a double stack.
I can fit 20 rounds in here, maybe 21 if I really try. A 40 caliber. It's a 40 caliber.
Oh, it's a 40 cal Smith & Wesson.
Yeah, that's the caliber it shoots.
I'm not too fond of that. If it was 45, then I'd be all over that.
Yeah, they make double stack 45s too, but
Yeah.
it doesn't really fit well in any of the divisions in USPSA.
You've seen that double-barreled 1911, right?
The Arsenal one.
Yeah. Would
Yeah.
you use that in competition if you had one?
Technically, I guess.
Would
I guess
they
could
let
use
you?
it- that's what I'm trying to figure out. You could use it in limited division. That'd be the only division you could use it in. Limited or open, which I mean, if you used it
There would be
Open
no advantage to that.
no advantage,
There would be no advantage.
it'd be fun
It'd be
and hilarious.
Well, I'm not saying there'd be any advantage to it. I'm just saying, it would be interesting to see.
For sure, yeah. I've seen footage of someone shooting a match with the Desert Eagle. That's pretty cool.
How was his shot groups?
I couldn't tell on the video, but he was pretty good with it. I mean, I was surprised how fast he was going. It just sucked because he had to reload like all the time. But yeah, that's what I shoot. And then I just, I told you I had my Glock, and I was shooting 40 caliber in it for a while. I took the 40 caliber upper off of it and put the original factory, the 9mm upper back on it.
Uh-huh.
And, I'm gonna shoot it in production division. So now I got 2 rigs set up, so I can shoot
which
1 minute in
Glock do
production.
you use?
What's that?
What model Glock is that you're using, the original configuration?
A 34.
34. Okay.
But the 34 and the 35 use the same frame. So the only thing different in the frame is the ejector. That's the only difference. So you can just swap the whole upper part of the Glock and shoot the caliber.
Yeah, it's just like the Beretta 96. Technically, you can just change the magazines and the slide, and put in a 92 slide on it with a barrel, and it works just fine.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
You don't even have to replace the ejector, even though they say, well, you really should replace the ejector. All the people on the Beretta forum say otherwise.
Yeah, the only thing with like Glocks, if you want to change the ejector, you can shoot 9mm with a 40 ejector, but you can't shoot 40 with a 9mm ejector, at least with Glock, because the Glock 9mm ejector is bent inward, and if you're unchambering a live round, this has happened before. If you're unchambering it, it'll extract that round, and the ejector has a higher chance of hitting the primer, and then it will ignite that round out of battery while your hand's like on top of the slide. Would not be a good situation.
Yeah, I don't think it would.
But shooting 9 with a 40 ejector, it's fine. Sometimes you just get brass. It just doesn't throw out as far as it normally would. But I mean, I wouldn't do it for like a self-defense gun, but for like what I'm doing, it's fine. I haven't had any problems with it.
Awesome. So when you've been doing these competitions, which ones have you attended that you remember?
You're talking about like major matches, I guess.
Yeah, major or minor. Which ones did you do best at?
Well, I definitely remember when
I know you did all right in the Kentucky one not too long ago.
Yeah. Well, I've only been shooting for a year and a half. I don't know if I said that already. Well, probably 2 years, counting like when I started shooting my 1911, those tactical matches or whatever. But a year and a half in USPSA, and I've only shot 2 major matches in that year and a half. I shot the Georgia State match that was this past August,
Mhm.
and then I shot the Kentucky State match, which was this past October. And I definitely remember the Georgia State match very well. I did very poorly. I mean, I didn't do horrible, but I did the goals I'd set for myself. I definitely didn't do as well as I wanted to. And then the Kentucky match, I mean, they're both really fun, but in the Kentucky match, I shot real consistent. I really wasn't expecting to do like amazingly well. Like I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna go shoot for fun and just do my best and see what happens, and just stay consistent. So I did that. I shot for the most part pretty well. There's a couple things I messed up, but after I messed those things up, I was not expecting to win and actually won my class. So I was pretty excited about that.
Yeah, and you pissed Foose off at the same time.
Yeah, that was fun. It was a fun match.
Yeah.
And I definitely remember, like, I started like getting where I'll win my class and getting close to winning my division at all the local matches. So I'm pretty much I'm looking at the point where I'm like on par, close to beating like the best guys in my division at local matches, which I mean isn't really saying a lot. It all depends on the kind of competition that's in your area. which we have pretty good local matches here. We run like 50 to 80 shooters at a local match, which is pretty substantial. Some clubs only have like 20 people show up for a match.
Awesome.
Yeah, we have pretty good local matches here, which I'm really happy about that.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Let's get a little sidetracked. What other kind of rifles or shotguns or handguns do you own that you don't do competition in, but you enjoy shooting?
Ooh, well, one would
Because I know
probably
you got more than that, just your comp gun.
yeah, definitely. Well, I'd probably say my Ruger 2245, which technically it's built for competition, but I don't use it for that. But the only reason I don't use it is because one, 22 ammo is insanely expensive, and it's easier to find now, but it's still kind of expensive. And two, I'm so focused on USPSA, I don't really take the time to go take that and shoot it. If I shot it, I'd be shooting it and still challenged. That'd be what I'd set up for, because it's all got aftermarket parts and stuff in it, and probably one of my favorite 22s to shoot. I mean, like, besides shooting my competition gun, that's probably my favorite pistol to shoot, honestly. But I got that, and then mostly that's the only thing I shoot. Really, I shoot a Remington 870 every now and then at Clay's just for fun in front of the house here. But that's about it. That, and then I hunt, so I have a couple hunting rifles. Favorite hunting rifle is probably my 17 HMR. That thing's awesome, and I do like to target shoot with it sometimes.
So you don't have anything in 30-06?
Oh no, I do have some. We have some deer rifles. My family has some deer rifles in 30-06, and I have a Mauser that's been rechambered in 30-06.
Well, what was it originally? What, 7mm?
It was an Argentine Mauser, 1909. So it was a 7.65 Argentine was the caliber.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of Privy Partisan still makes it. You can still get the ammo for it, and it's super cheap. I wish it was still in the original caliber, but it's not. So
you could get it converted back, but it would cost a bit.
No, yeah, the chamber's already been reamed for 30-06, so
You'd have to get a new barrel.
well, the barrel, yeah, you're right, because I guess the way it's the chamber is part of the barrel.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know how exactly it's pieced together.
All right. Well, awesome. Thanks for sharing that with us and giving me some something to talk about on my show.
Yeah, well, I mean that's
I
just
had
the basic.
nothing prepared today,
No,
but it sounded like I did.
yeah, if you have any other questions, just bring them up anytime during the chat.
All right. Thanks. Nathan, are you there, or are you still doing that holster?
Looks like he left his chair empty. He cut out on us in the moment of desperation.
Yes, I see that. So
let me ask you, since we got like kind of a pause here, are you going to get in competition ever? You think? That's right.
I've been thinking about it, but the problem is I need to find a stable job first, or I need to start making some money so I can afford shooting the guns I have first.
Yeah, I hear you. That's a big problem with me, because as you listen, if you don't know already, I'm a college student who works part-time at a retail job, so I'm on a very, very limited budget. The only reason I'm able to shoot is because I'm able to live at home and just schedule everything out the right way. I mean, I literally schedule it down to a T so that I have just enough time to shoot and do school and everything else.
Yeah, I live with family as well, even though I'm a bit older than you, but we have a huge ranch/farm style house, and we have 30 acres behind it, so that's where I do all my shooting.
Yeah, nice. That's awesome. You're just like me. You can step out the front door and start shooting. So.
Well, the thing is, it's the house is on a different property that's inside city limits. The back property is outside of city limits in the county. So I have to wait until I cross that line. Otherwise, I might have some cops asking me what's going on back there.
Yeah, well, the bullet travels over the line. You can say, well, technically, officer, the bullet hit the target on the county side. So I mean.
I can see myself in handcuffs.
Yeah, well, I guess it depends on the area and how friendly your neighbors are.
My neighbors aren't friendly at all.
That sucks.
Because I live right next to a golf course.
Great.
Yeah, but you live and learn. But yeah, I've been thinking about getting into competition. Primarily, I've been thinking of maybe getting into 3-gun myself.
Yeah, that's another thing I didn't even bring up. I wouldn't mind doing that eventually. It's just a lot to do, and like talking to people who shoot USPSA now with me and who do it and have done it and tried it and still do it, they're like, yeah, I mean, I'll do it like once a month or something like that. They're like, it's just so much time and so much money, and it's so much skill set. You gotta be efficient in 3 different platforms. You don't have to. That is kind of one of the advantages. Is like you can kind of suffer in one, and if you're really good in the others, you can kind of still win. But if you want to dominate the sport, you definitely got to be, the top of your game for all three platforms.
Yeah, because I've got a competition trigger. Well, it's not a trigger, but I got a competition spring kit in my AR-15. I got the the kit just so I could bump fire faster. I know that's not what it's for at all. I know it's for competition, but I did some research and reading, and it actually helps when you're bump firing. So that's why I did it.
Yeah.
It gives me just that extra little bit of edge, even though it only drops the 6-pound trigger down to like a 3.
Yeah. Speaking of AR triggers,
that's a significant difference from 6 to 3. That's a big difference.
I know, but
what do you have?
it's
The JP Enterprises reduced power? Is that what
no,
you're
I
using?
got the Wolf.
Okay, yeah.
I got the Wolf Springs kit because it gave me the disconnector spring, it gave me the trigger and the hammer spring.
Yeah, I got an AR that has the JP Jewel trigger.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that thing is nice.
I've already decided what trigger I want to get, and it's probably definitely not the best of the best trigger out there, but it's good and it works. And that's the CMC 3.5-pound flat trigger. And it's the main reason I'm getting it is because, it's nice. I've gotten to shoot it and I like it. And number 2, it's pretty affordable compared to some of them on the market. It's still, it's $150, but compared to other triggers, that's not bad.
Well, my AR is completely built
150 is not bad.
myself. I built that AR myself as my first build, but I got a PSA Freedom rifle kit on July 4th last year, and that's where that rifle came from.
Yeah, speaking of ARs, I'm putting one together now, a BCM rifle, and I would like to shoot some 2-gun with it. Like, I originally got into it, started building it, because I'm like, I'm going to shoot 3-gun. But I think I'm going to put that on hold for a while, just because, like I was saying, the cost of it and how much gear and everything takes. But I definitely love shooting rifles. I know that for a fact. I'd probably say out of the 3, shotgun's my least favorite. But I definitely want to shoot some 2-gun matches. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, I do
Plus,
too.
it'll become more realistic too, for like fighting type scenarios.
I've got an M16 bolt carrier group in it. And people say, "Oh no, you've got an M16 bolt carrier group in it. Watch it." But what they don't realize is that's the full auto bolt carrier is the one they put standard in AR-15s these days.
Yeah. Okay. So
you're not going to find an SP1 bolt carrier group these days.
So what that is that's just, they shouldn't call it that. They should just call it the standard bolt carrier group for the weapon.
I know.
Because that's like saying that I have a standard Chevy Malibu and I put nice glass pack mufflers on it. Does it make it go faster? Does it perform better? No.
Well, it's proven down here in
That's
Georgia, Nathan.
If you paint flames on the side, it goes faster.
Thank you, Smeggy.
Yeah, it's like painting flames on the side of your car. Now,
Down here in Georgia, we all know for a fact that if you paint racing flames and the number 3 on your car, you're going to gain at least 70, if not 100 horsepower.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 70 to 100% racism.
That's a good pun.
That's only if Stone Guy's driving.
Oh, wow.
It's only when the Confederate flag goes on top. I'm sorry, Caleb, my bad.
Yeah.
Hey, you do not mess with my General Lee.
Now, if it's General Lee and it's actually a 69 Charger, that's cool. Any other car with a Confederate flag on top, you better have some bulletproof armor on.
That's only if you don't. That's only if you live in Ferguson.
So,
no. Okay, so hold on. Let's have a
Ferguson.
discussion about what
Keep that hammer down.
you would not drive through in the General Lee. There's a lot.
We're gonna tone this down a bit because we're getting a little out there. So.
Nice, like, why don't you introduce the new guest that just came in?
Yeah. Hey, Smeggy. Thanks for being fashionably late.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for having me.
No problem. All right, now we've got a full panel. Awesome. Hey, Smeg, you
What
mentioned you wanted to talk about some news pieces and whatnot, and I know you were thinking about doing your own show. Is there anything you'd like to bring up tonight that you've seen overall in the news?
I could, but not right at the moment. I'm driving, and it makes it hard to, read news articles. I don't know. When did the show start? Are we almost over or something?
We're almost halfway through.
Halfway. All right. Give me like 15 minutes or something. I'll pull something up.
Okay.
Hey, Night Strike.
I just gotta find the expressway, and then I'll be good to go.
Yes, Nathan.
Because I'm not quite sure where I am right now.
It's the fast one. Smeggy, it's the fast one.
So, Night Strike, this is a 1911 holster with thumb brake with Don't Tread on Me and the Rattlesnake. I would send this to you, but it's right-handed.
Oh man, you totally have to get me right like that. I see how it is.
We're going to play the whole I got a nice holster that's right-handed game all night.
And I'm gonna hate you for it, and I'll still probably ask for it.
Hey, look, if you weren't genetically deficient left-handed, things would be better in your life.
Okay,
You're just backwards. Can't
I
do it.
only write with my left hand, but I'm gonna tell you this right now, just so I can blow everyone's mind. When it comes to shooting, I'm ambidextrous.
That's good. That's the way I am too with rifles anyway. Rifles anyways. I haven't practiced pistol, but
Rifles,
I remember
pistols.
playing tree stand, so it's like you gotta shoot this way and this way. I'm like, okay.
Did
And
we
so
just
Pistols and
lose?
rifles.
Oh, we lost Smeggy. Okay.
you both-
We
Hey,
lost
Night
Smeggy.
Strike, hold on. Night Strike, I got a test for you. Okay, so take your hands, make a triangle, hold them all the way out,
do a push
bring
up.
it into whatever eye you feel most comfortable with, and tell me, which hand do you jerk off with? And that's how we know what hand is dominant.
We don't talk about that. Not on air.
Way to
It's
bring-
no one's business.
Way to make the show X-rated in one sentence, Nathan.
You totally thought I was doing the eye dominance test, though. That was the best setup. I love that.
I
Well, it's
guess.
a good thing I have my camera off.
Okay, I can see him sitting there with his hands in front of him.
Okay, so I'll reenact for.
No, you better
Let's
not.
not.
Here's Night Strike.
All right, Nathan, you're up.
Oh,
Yeah, Nathan, why don't you talk about your holster company instead of making weird hand gestures?
You know, I brought you in here because I wanted you to talk about your holster company.
okay. So
Speaking of that, I'll jump in front of you. I got my shit.
You got your shit?
Look at that, ladies and gentlemen, we have the first
let's
customer
make it.
right here. 100%
All right.
pleased, right?
All right, Smeg, you know, if you got something, go for it.
Well, that was it. I just wanted him to know that I got it, and it looks good. I've been wearing the belt. I don't have my gun with me, so I haven't been wearing the holster, but I've been wearing the belt. It's nice, good length and everything.
I'm so happy to hear that I got the length right. That has been the biggest problem I've had through the entire ordeal is getting belt length right.
That's what she said.
Because the size of your pants and the actual size of the belt is 3 to 4 inches off. It's a real pain in the rear end.
Hmm.
And Smeggy, have you put the gun in the holster and drawn it, and how's the fit?
Actually, I did not because I forgot to take the holster with me to my parents' house when I went there on Sunday.
Okay, so another question. The belt, now that you've had it on, is it creaky like a ship? And it goes, is it like creaky and stuff?
No, it's not creaky at all.
Okay, because some of the belts I produced, I put them on and they like make weird noises until they get worked in. Once they get worked in, they're fine, but there's that new noise to them.
So Nathan, I have a question for you about your holsters and your leather working and whatnot.
Okay.
Have you looked at doing single point slings?
Nathan, you're muted.
You muted.
Yeah, I'm talking to myself, sorry. So, are you talking like ARs?
Yeah, for like ARs or just rifles in general.
I haven't looked into it yet. I mean, I'm not opposed to that, but I've been focusing on pistol holsters and belts and stuff, and I'm constantly expanding because you want to know why?
Money.
No, because people like you always ask for something I don't make or advertise. No, I'm serious. All my expansion comes from the customers. I make belts, I make holsters. I'm like, I make belts and I make holsters. And they go, well, can you make me a mag carrier to go with that? And so I'm like, okay, now for a rig. What about a shoulder holster? Okay, I'll look into that. I mean, just constantly, I would say more people have asked for things I don't make than people have actually bought things I do make.
Nathan, here's the thing. Have you looked at every other, small holster company? The same thing happens to them. That's how they get so big and how they get so many customers.
This is the cue for everybody listening. Go to sheepdogleather.com and max out your credit cards.
No.
Buy a holster, buy a belt, get a mag pouch.
Hold on. Everyone, go to sheepdogleather.com, look at what I offer for sale, and then send me an email asking me to make something different. That's the way it's been working.
Well, I'm just saying theoretically, because it wouldn't be that hard to do it like you do a belt, and then just add like a, I don't know
if leather would be the best choice for a single point sling, though.
Well, they use nylon, and they also use just regular fabric too. So leather would be just as fine, just as well.
I like the bungee ones. I don't know. I've never had one, but I think it'd be cool.
You know what? Every time I think I know what is tactically sound and offer it, somebody asks for something else. So I've given up. If you want it, I'll try to figure out how to make it.
I was just asking, just out of curiosity,
Well, no, you're right. When I first started, I thought everyone would want a nice belt holster with an tension screw. Guess what I get? Can you make it with a thumb brake? Nah, I personally don't like thumb brakes. But then I said to myself, you know what? I used to not like open carry, but now I think open carry is a good idea.
Let me tell you something, Nathan. It's not about what you like. It's about what the customer likes.
Yeah. So my own perceptions were getting in the way. And I said, you know what? You want a thumb brake? I'll make you a thumb brake. So then I started making ones with thumb brakes. And then I said, I'll give you a belt and holster. And people said, well, do you have a mag carrier for that? I'm like, you know what? That's not unreasonable. You'd want a holster, a belt, and a matching mag carrier. You want a whole rig. That makes sense. So I figured out how to make a rig.
That's what I got.
Yeah.
The 3-piece set.
Yeah, Mika's the one who actually prompted me to make my first real rig. Well, another friend did, and then Mika was second. But yeah, the rig request was how I developed that. And then somebody came to me and said, I'm thinking about wanting an Alaskan holster, but he didn't actually order one, but I have got it halfway done as far as the straps are concerned, because I'm thinking...
Well, here's what I would do if I were you, Nathan, since you're just starting out, is don't start cutting the leather until they have paid you.
No, but hold on. Caleb.
Oh, he gets the credit card first, so it's fine.
No, Caleb, here's the deal.
Uh-huh.
I got so many jacked up holsters sitting in a bag right now. I'm just hoping I start building up to get the orders that I can take some of them and can Frankenstein them into something that's sellable.
Okay, so you got plenty of material right now is what you're saying.
No, there's never any problem with the material because I have giant hides of leather around.
Alright, so everybody hears that. They need to go buy them out. You want him to be saying, oh my gosh, I need to buy more material so I can make more holsters.
Well, no, it's not like that. Seriously. I always am a prepper, and I always make sure I have enough leather on hand. But I haven't started making a profit yet. In fact, I'm in the hole a lot.
Where?
I got to sell a lot of holsters to dig my way out of the hole I've dug myself into. But I'm
Gum broker.
I have some questions for you. And
it's going to happen.
I have some questions and some follow-up questions. Well, first question. So, how long have you been making the holsters like this?
Making the holsters at my current level that I'm doing has been...
When did you get the idea and say, hey, I want to make holsters and stuff and sell them?
Okay, so let me just tell you my entire story then.
Okay.
It won't take long. I'll sum it up.
No, please, go ahead.
After our current president took office, I went and bought a gun, wanted to get a holster for it. Couldn't find a holster for it. Got the gun, couldn't find a holster. Went down, saw a pancake holster put together in China by Galco, wanted $120 for it at that shop. I was like, dude, seriously, Logan, be quiet. Okay, sorry. So I didn't want to pay $120 for a pancake. It was cheap leather. It was really cheap looking. $120 they wanted for that, and it was sewn together, made in China. And I'm sitting there going, Galco's a good company. This thing is a piece of crap for $120. This is like a $30, $40 thing. And so I went down to the leather store, bought the leather, came home and tried to make one myself. So I went to an airsoft event down at Fort Hood with the rest of my team. And I went, look, I made a holster for my pistol. For my, I made a holster for my real gun, but I made another holster for my airsoft pistol. Mm-hmm. And they proceeded to make a video where they talked in Russian and made fun of me and the pistol.
Oh.
My first YouTube experience or on the web experience was them making fun of my holster production, saying that a drunk old Russian lady made this for me, and it's very nice. So.
Wow.
So you've had this idea for a while. So yeah.
Well, no, you understand. We rib each other. It was a funny thing. It's funny to watch because this guy who was doing the Russian accent was ripping into everyone. I was just one of the people they ripped into, and he picked the holster out instead of something personal to me. But
I don't know that you could have taken it personal.
But
Story. Let him finish.
All right, continue, please.
Yeah, if you've ever been around military people, they rib each other. This was ribbing. So, anyway, I'd made that holster. So, then another friend, he bought a gun. He wanted me to make him a holster. I make him a holster, and I totally do it wrong. I dye the inside of the holster, not just the outside. I dye both sides. The thing is like a piece of cardboard when I get done, right? That's where I learned you only dye one side of it, not both sides. You only dye one side. Which, again, if you ever screwed around with leather, you figure that out. If you deep dye both sides, it makes it brittle and it snaps.
You only dye once.
You only dye one side. Anyway.
Once.
So you learn these things over time, right? So when I started making holsters right was when I went down to the leather store, and they had this book called How to Make Holsters. Hold on, I'll get it. Don't worry, it's right here. So the way you know it's a real quality How to Make Holsters book is it's really big, and it's got a cowboy kicking over a table that has cards.
And the art looks like from the era of like the
1800s.
Yeah.
Seriously, this guy, he's a great guy. He's a great holster maker. I mean, he made holsters forever. He set the standard. This thing is so old it doesn't even have a copyright in it. It's just a reprint of his work. But I'm seeing some guns that look like they're from what's that movie where they're busting Al Capone? The newest gun in this entire book is from the 30s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, when you look at this book, it's all cowboy actions. There's a 1911 or two in it. The newest gun is from the 30s during the Prohibition era.
But it still gives you the gist of the process, you know.
So the old favorites.
Yeah, but the it's like learning math. The basic technology is built into this book to learn how to make holsters, and that's where I learned all my basic technology. And once I learned how to measure them right, and take the gun and outline them right, and then how to stitch them correctly, how to do foldovers, and then so I made nice holsters after that for my friends. I learned dye one side, measure it correctly, produce the holster to fit the gun, and they were all happy. So when I decided to do this, I started researching further. When I decided that my wife, who does embroidery for the past like 10 years and produces like, you would not believe the crap my wife can produce. It's not crap, sorry. My wife can embroider. She's got a professional embroidery machine. She's got a sewing machine. She can do towels, blankets, T-shirts, anything you want. She can turn that into a work of art. She is amazing. She amazes me. And when I saw that, I went, you know what? If I could just even get halfway as good as she is doing at making leather products for holsters, I'd do well. So I began researching it. And, it came down to the fact that a lot of working with leather is just trial and error. It's developing a technique, it's developing a certain measurement. The hardest part is if you look, like, say, at this piece of leather right here, the back and the front are two different lengths.
It's because of the way you had to form them, right?
Yeah, you have to make the front pouch big enough to fit the gun.
Right.
And the back pouch has to have a little bit of give, and then you have to stitch it, and you have to get it wet and shove the gun in it like a glove. That ain't easy. Trust me. That's why I got 30 holsters over there that are no good, because I went and took the gun and it wouldn't go in the damn pouch.
I did watch a little bit of your how you make your holsters video.
Mm-hmm.
And how about that not using suede?
No, I put suede in everything now.
Yeah.
I gave up on that. I just put suede on all my holsters that I sell now. Because
that fix the problem?
No, the suede doesn't make a problem one way or the other. It's just higher quality.
Okay.
Whether I take a normal piece of leather or take a piece of leather with suede on top of each side is, what do you call it, lining, suede lining. The suede protects the gun more when you slide it in. It gives a little bit more of a drag when you pull it in and out. To be honest with you, the other way I had it, which was just smoothing and gumming the inside of the leather, that works too, but it just, the suede, it costs a little bit more. It's a lot better all around. It's higher quality. I don't know. I guess if you sold a car, you'd say, well, do you use leather or pleather? Leather costs more than pleather, but it's nicer, so you use leather.
Right.
So I'm just trying to simplify my process, and it's not a big deal just to put the glue down and slap the suede on it, and then it's such a better holster for just that. And you're using $2 in suede. It's not big.
All right. Smeggy, you there?
Yeah, what's up?
You remember what you were going to talk about? Are you still driving?
No, I just got back, just walked in. I'll have to find it.
I have something to talk about for a second. What the heck, Virginia?
Yes.
So those who haven't heard, Virginia rescinded the reciprocity laws for carry. So
Yeah, I read that.
Virginia said, "Oh, we're not going to let these." I don't know the list of states. It was 27 states.
25.
They're going to say, okay, 25. If you can't, if you're from this state, one of these 25 states, and you have a handgun permit, it is not valid in Virginia. Carry
Despite
permit.
the fact that they had reciprocity agreements in place.
I know.
And you know what? Every state that heard that, found out they were on the list, totally revoked Virginia's reciprocity today, by the way.
Good.
Not kidding.
I don't know if that's well. Is that good or is that bad? I mean, I don't know.
Well, it's a double-edged sword there.
Yes, it's kind of just screwing over the people in Virginia, but it's also letting the legislature know, and people know that hey, if you're not going to support, our government, our government's going to support yours. But I mean, I think it's sometimes we need to stick together. We can't be too divided over stuff.
Yeah, there's also something else I wanted to bring up. Right here at the end before we close it up and start wrapping it up. But New York is looking to cap ammo purchases to twice a gun's capacity every 90 days.
Every 90 days? Are you kidding me?
Every 90 days.
Even
So-
the fact of capping the ammo is ridiculous.
So if you only have an AR-15, you can only get 20 rounds per 90 days.
Well, maybe they'll write it so that it doesn't specify. Well, I'm sure they will write it the way that it specifies the way that it's meant to hold in one magazine. Because if not, you'd be like, well, I have 30 magazines, so I should be able to buy ammo for all of them, right? Someone's going to try to do that or something like that. But that's ridiculous. Is it passed? I mean, you said they're trying to pass it.
They're trying to make it as an amendment to the
Oh my
SAFE Act.
Oh, wow. Well,
What? New York?
New York.
yes. Did you hear that, Nathan? What they're doing with the ammo?
He said 20 rounds in what days?
They're saying you cannot buy more than twice of what your gun holds of capacity every 90 days.
And since the ammo capacity for a rifle like an AR-15 is 10 rounds in New York, you can only buy 20 rounds of AR-15 ammunition every 90 days.
Of course, that's easily circumvented if you're near the border. I mean, I guess you just. Well, I don't know what they're. I don't know if they have all sorts of that too. But
What's ridiculous? Hold on. What's ridiculous about that is the fact that you would think that if you went to the gun range to shoot for target practice with an AR or a pistol, what's a standard pistol box come in? Like if I just wanted to go to the range and just shoot my Glock,
50 rounds,
50 rounds come in a box of ammo. So the fact that they're saying only 20 round boxes of ammo every 90 days is atrocious. That's
It's going to
crazy.
make prices go higher.
Well, in New York, but the thing is they're just
I'll tell you what
limiting
that's gonna do.
the purchase power of the people. And here's the fact is, you know what? I'm going to save up over the next 2 years. How much damage can I do? You know what I'm saying? It's even the people in San Bernardino only drop 75 rounds in that place, and they planned ahead to do that for 2 years. So even that law in New York would not have prevented something like that from happening. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well,
Oh, yes.
I'd like to say something as ridiculous as that wouldn't pass, but it's New York, so that's crazy.
It's just ridiculous to think that you can go to the range once every 3 months and shoot 2 magazines. Like, what the hell? That's like 5 minutes worth of shooting.
That's like a warm up. That's not even. That's nothing.
And the idea that a person who wanted to do a San Bernardino type event, and they're sitting there going, man, I only got 20 rounds. I'm going to have to wait another 3 months to get another 20 rounds. We can't do this event for like 3 years, honey. Oh, honey, why don't you drive across the border to the Walmart and buy a couple hundred rounds of ammunition? It's like so I have another story. Hold on, real quick.
So if you drive across state lines, it'll be like smuggling or something. You must-
Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't know about it till after they bust you. But anyway, so I lived in this little town in Texas, part of the big city, but a little suburb. And our suburb sold beer, but they didn't sell wine or liquor in the grocery store, right?
What?
Yeah, it's a weird thing that the city itself said we don't want to sell wine because we're afraid of homeless people coming in. That was like their big argument. Ridiculous. But every city around us sold wine in their grocery stores, beer and wine. No liquor, just beer and wine. Our grocery store only sold beer. So my mom, she didn't drink beer. She drank wine. So she sent my dad over a couple miles over. Instead of going a mile and a half down, he went 2 miles or 3 miles over and went to the other supermarket and bought her wine. And guess what happened to that grocery store?
The one that had the wine,
The one that didn't have the wine.
they went out of business.
They went out of business.
Because people were going in the other store just for the wine, but they ended up just shopping there altogether.
Yep. So it's funny that if you live in a community that is only 10 miles by 10 miles across and think that you can set laws to keep things from your people in your community, and then they can just drive across to the next town and get it? I mean, seriously, it's ridiculous.
Well, the problem is with New York.
It's a logical dump on the people
That's
in
the thing.
that
It's not
city.
logical. It's not logical. They know they're doing it. They're just doing it for political power and gain.
They're doing it for political power. They're doing it because all the population of New York, a majority of it, lives just in New York.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So the point is
so even the country boys like us that live out and stay out further out, in the country, they're basically being oppressed because, hey, guess what? All these people in this one city, they're too damn close together, get to dictate what everybody else gets.
Yeah, I mean, New York is a black hole of legal rights on so many levels. I mean,
Let's just leave it a black hole.
yeah, that's good. That's a good point. But they ruined the whole state for that. And again, you know what I say to people who live in New York and live in the rural parts of New York? Move out.
Yeah,
you'll be able to live nicer in the South than you would in New York.
No. Hold on. There are states that literally are within 40 or 50 miles of them that they can move out and go over to. I mean, seriously, they don't.
The
have
only
to
really
move
pro-gun
far.
one is Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, there are gun states that are, allow concealed carry, don't have a bunch of rules, that are very close to New York, that it's not even a far travel to.
Look, if you live in New York, the bottom line is just escape the fuck out of there.
You see, when I live here in Texas, and if Texas got oppressive and everything, I would have to move literally 300 or 400 miles away. Like, I'd have to go half a day's drive in a car at full
Texas
speed
won't get
to
oppressive.
get away. But on the flip side of that, New York and them move over to the next neighboring state that's pro-gun, and then drive into New York to visit your parents on Christmas. Yeah, that's just an option. Lots of people move around.
Yeah, and it's easier said than done, but if at all possible, move, and you don't have to move too far. Just move, a few states away or something. But yeah, if it's not possible, the best next thing is just to stay and fight. And
No, you should fight the good battle. You're right.
right.
You're right, Caleb. You should always fight the good battle. You should always try to make the point, this is what's right, this makes sense. But when your state, just New York and California, are going straight down the toilet,
Yep.
sometimes you just got to cut and run. You have to say, you know what, this state, even though it offers me whatever great job I have or great benefits or close to family, I've been here my entire life, maybe I should just leave because you are really, hurting my rights. Stand up. Leave. Not that they'll care, but just do it for yourself. That's what I'm saying.
Yep, a right lost is harder to.
And save yourself,
Yeah.
And if you wait too long, you're going to be just permanently caught behind enemy lines with no way to get out.
Right.
Says
A right
the guy-
lost is harder to get back.
Says the guy on an island
Yeah, well,
who's kind of screwed in the same way.
Yes.
I could.
Now,
complain
now,
about
hold on, hold
anytime
on.
I want.
Hold on. I will give you this, Volcano Island. I will give you this. You live on an island, and to move back to the States is a major.
I live in the States, motherfucker. This happens to be the most southern state in the Union. So, believe it or not, this is the United States. So don't
I
tell me
said
I
it.
don't live in the States.
I said it wrong. What I meant to say is, as an illegal alien who's angry, you, sir, should move to the United States and suffer through actual.
I escaped from California, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Family
It's like go.
in Europe during World War II and the Nazis. So, and we actually got.
You jump from the pot into the fire.
But no, Hawaii is a beautiful land, and I wish I could go to Hawaii. I'd love to live there. The way I vision you in my mind, because I never see you in person, is you look like Brody from Point Break. Not the new one, the old one. But anyway.
All right, I think that's where we're gonna leave it because New York sucks, and
Seriously, that's the ending note?
that's gonna be our ending note. All right, I want to thank Ballistic Expansion for suffering through this with us.
Anytime, man. Anytime. I'm here for you.
I want to thank Nathan's Armory for delving into a little bit of his sheepdogleather.com holsters.
Thank you for having me, Night Strike.
Smeggy, thanks for being fashionably late.
Yeah, no problem, buddy. Anytime. Hit or miss.
Yep, hit or miss. I want to thank Hawaii Volcano Squad for making his attempt.
Humumu nuku nuku apu apu a swims on by.
Melikuliki-laka.
This is why we should have higher border walls.
And that's when you hit the end broadcast. We're gonna leave him on that.
This is why we should have higher
does that.
Okay. All right. Everyone that's listening, thank you for listening. This was Hit or Miss.